Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to the Azure mini-series. It's great to be back. You may also notice that this time I have someone else with me. So let me welcome back from maternity leave, the yin to my yang, Gina Shobrook, who is also an Azure Solution Specialist just like me, but with a gold mine of knowledge in and around the mapping area and the IoT space. So say hello, Gina.
Hello everyone, and it's great to be here, so thanks very much, Sam. And as Sam said, we are back with the next episode of Azure 101, and in this time we are going to be looking at the Cloud Adoption Framework, specifically what it is and why we would be looking to use it. Then in subsequent videos we will be looking at some of the phases of the Cloud Adoption Framework and some of the resources you will have to access to through Microsoft. So then, let's start by looking at what is the Cloud Adoption Framework.
Yeah, thanks, Gina. So the Cloud Adoption Framework, or CAF as it's commonly referred to, is a roadmap for efficient and secure cloud adoption. And it's designed to actually help organizations to adopt the cloud through a set of key steps. Now, we always say, don't we, that it's not just a one-time process. It's basically a mindset for adopting Azure, whether you're new to it or setting up a new service or solution. So CAF should actually be revisited each time to adopt according to these key best practices. So let's have a quick look then at the phases of CAF. So to start with, we have pre-production. So these phases involve planning and strategy. Next, there is the production stage, which focuses on getting ready and actually adopting Azure. And then last of all, we have post-production, which is all about managing and governing the cloud environment. So just so you know, CAF does indeed actually recommend that securing your organizational estate should be integrated throughout the entire adoption process. This actually means that you start with the strategizing and the planning phase, and securing it should be at the forefront of all that you do. And this is actually known as a shift left mentality. Now, this is also helpful when you do actually adopt the cloud. You won't have to actually worry about reconfiguring over and over again, or worry about security implementations actually affecting things like performance, as this is all going to have been taken care of when you tested. You can, however, continue to improve the Azure estate over time.
So just to summarise some of the points that we've gone through so far, the Cloud Adoption Framework is a roadmap for adopting Azure for this deployment and future deployments with Microsoft and industry best practices hard baked in there for you. If not already familiar with all of the cloud features, then you will be introduced to the great tools and ways to create secure development pipeline, such as Azure DevOps and GitHub, for example, as well as tools for mapping your digital estate, such as Azure Migrate. So my question is, why is CAF needed, Sam?
Yeah, that's a great question, Gina. And probably one of the first and biggest reasons why it is needed is actually because cloud is an operating model, not a destination. No business owner actually comes in on a Monday morning and just says, hey, do you know what we need to do? We need to be on Azure. But so often it can actually feel like the cloud is suggested as the answer to every problem simply because it's at the cutting edge of most, if not all, current advanced technologies. It can actually be used to create, test and deploy resources for products and applications faster and easier though. But do you actually simply inherit this just by being on the cloud? The answer candidly is no. Cloud Adoption Framework actually provides the businesses with the template to unlock Azure's power and make it work for them. So Gina, do you want to take everyone through what sort of resources the framework provides to actually set it apart?
Sure. So the CAF framework adopts existing project management tools and molds them to help the organisation create a cloud centre of excellence. This helps them to adopt Azure in the cleanest, safest, most efficient manner possible. So one of these tools is something called the RACI template. That's RACI, which stands for responsible, who or what team does the work; accountable, the person responsible for the completion of the task; consulted, who are you asking for the opinions, subject matter experts like partners like Grey Matter, for example; informed, those who are kept up to date in the progress and the decisions of a project. Another great resource is the business outcomes template. This again focuses attention on what is important, such as who is the stakeholder in the project, what the KPIs are to meet that show success, so a sales target, for example, what are the drivers that are pushing this. And this last one is interesting because the template forces the organisation to look at the opportunities and the challenges that are the business drivers. As you can see, this framework provides a foundation for organisations to maximise benefits of Azure in line with best practice recommendations.
Thanks, Gina. It's probably fair to say cloud adoption is not a fast process if it's done correctly and can actually take weeks or even months. However, the good news is if a business does start to use the tools and resources in CAF, they can actually reduce the time of adoption down considerably and also reduce any issues raising up in the future because they've actually already been identified and planned for. Cool, well that's it for this session. In the next couple of sessions we're going to be touching upon other sections of CAF as we showcase some of the key Azure services in each of these sections. So don't worry, it will all make sense come the end. Trust us, we're the professionals. So until next time, it's goodbye from me and it's goodbye from Gina.
Thanks, bye.